Welcome to the World of Horror podcast with Mom and Mac. I'm Mom.
And I'm Mac.
This is the podcast where we share our love of international horror. Everyone has their fears, but we are not afraid of subtitles. Disclaimers for adult language and spoilers. Hi, Mac. How's it going?
Hi, Mom. It's going good. You know, it's been a lovely week. We recorded a few days ago, so not much has happened in my personal life. But let me tell you, a lot has happened on Love Island. And you asked me if I had any stories to tell. Well, I do about other people, strangers, you might say, people that I don't know personally. But yeah, the Love Island finale is tomorrow. And yeah, they had a family day on Friday where two people from the Islanders family come and they meet whoever they're dating's family as well. And then, the family gets to share their input on the partner. And there's a couple right now, Melanie and Sincere. Now, what's funny about Sincere is that his name that his family gave him was kind of the opposite of a self-fulfilling prophecy because he is the most insincere person on the island. And the producers were like, we made it. Yes, because this guy, I mean, it's actually shocking how he will say one thing to his partner, Melanie, and then they bring in these bombshells to break up the couples, just go and do the complete opposite. And they had a whole night where they show, it's called movie night, where they show clips, cut together clips for the Islanders because they don't see the TV show. Mm-hmm. And the energy was so rancid when it got to just the supercut of Sincere lying to Melanie that everybody was silent. And it's even the guys who usually stick up for the guys were just like, that's really bad, dude. Wow, you can't be doing that. Sincere's stepfather was the guy who came, and he literally came. He was like, I didn't want to come here, but I came here to tell you that you can't be doing this. He's like, you basically was like, you've embarrassed us, because he's hated by and I feel he did his own thing. He truly does kind of seem like a manipulative. I don't know the guy, but based on the edited TV show I'm watching, you would think he's a manipulative asshole. I don't know him though, but I do worry for his mental health when he leaves the villa because the internet just hates this guy. But even his family was like, we came so that you don't mess with this girl anymore. Melanie's family came and her sister was like, stop, don't be with this guy. And it was sad because the energy is so different from all the other families who were like, we love them. Yay, we're so happy to meet them. I love my future daughter-in-law, cute shit like that. So the finale is on Sunday, and we're just all excited to see the saga come to an end because it's literally been from day one that this couple's kind of been a mess. So that's what I've got going on in my life.
Oh, that's awesome. So what's the object of this game show?
Okay,
end up with somebody?
Yes. So the finale is one couple is voted for by America and they win $100,000. And at the end, when they are chosen, it's this thing where either they both decide to share it or one person can decide to steal it. And nobody ever decide. I don't know if anybody in the history, probably some person has, but usually they don't, because the whole thing's about your actual aim going on there is to be famous. I'm sure most of the couples going into the finale know they're not winning. There's actually a front runner, this couple, Bryce and Trinity. They're most certainly going to win. They've been the cutest, but everybody's going to have a better career if they are beloved on the show. Okay. So that's the real aim, is to be famous afterward.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like with traders, you want a certain outcome. And if the person ends up being the sole trader, it's sort of like, oh, well, good for you, bud.
Yeah.
People aren't really that happy about that outcome.
Yeah. Though I was, because Rob from spoilers, but Rob, from last season, he was on Love Island, and like when that season started, I was like, no way is Rob gonna do well. This guy seems like a total kind of like a dummy, but I was shocked at how well he did.
Yeah, he really played the game well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cunning.
very much so. Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I can't wait. That's my one reality show fix that I love.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I guess September, one of the versions is coming back.
I'm so excited that they're
far
going to
off.
do regular people too.
Yeah, I
on
think
the
it's
American
the
one.
regular people. Yeah. I think
That's
that's
better.
the version.
Or like,
Yeah.
I'm happy to see the celebs too, but the real people is such a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that version better.
Because some of the celebs, they're not trying. Like Moira, I heard from others that she didn't even know really like what to do. Like she would be like, so there's going to be like another round table tonight. And they'd be like, yes, there's like one every night. So, but she didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah. I don't really have any stories. As I was telling you, my catio is done. Now I just need to get it painted. So the roofers, when they put the roof on the catio, they found actual damage to my house roof. And so they had to fix that. And they were like, they said the construction was really good, but they're like, but I would have done it totally different. And I'm just like, okay.
Interesting.
Like, yeah. And then they're like, yeah, this like pressure treated wood that he used for this part up here, he's like, that's way too expensive. I would have used a cheaper wood. And I'm just like, okay, great. Right. Interesting.
A little bit too late now.
Good to know. Yeah. And then they're like, I would have wrapped this pole in plastic and then vinyl. And I'm like, so when they're all done with what they're doing now, I want to get a quote on what they said, all the stuff they would change and if it is even possible to change it. So, but here I was thinking I was so smart by going with the cheapest quote. And it turns out this is only the second porch he's ever made. And the roofers would have done it completely differently. But they did say the construction is really, well done.
Okay.
So it's a strong structure. They just would have assembled it differently.
That's like, it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do as the homeowner with this information? Yeah. Like, I don't know anything.
Yeah. I mean, they were just talking. So,
okay.
But they're really nice. Everybody on the roofing crew is like super nice. So I like them a lot. And then my painter, the guy who painted this house, is going to give me a quote in a couple of weeks on the catio, how much it's going to cost to paint that. And so, but I think maybe tomorrow will be the big day when I show Rosie her catio.
Yay! Oh my God, I'm so excited. You should take a video.
I should. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so cute. Sure it'll smell completely different and everything, but
she's going to like walk out like, huh? But she's going to be so like, if she could say, thank you, this is awesome, she would.
I know, because she's been so confused. And I was making a bunch of trips to the basement yesterday, and usually she follows me, but I think, that's where all the noise is. So she didn't follow me. So that's the association she has. So yeah, I think she'll be really timid going out there, but yeah, it'll be nice for her to have her space back.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't want to do this movie.
we can speed run it. We can like speed go through it. It's our podcast.
So. I know. I was like, maybe we've never done this in the history of the podcast, but maybe we could just skip this one.
I think we can hit the high, hit the main ideas,
That's like, WoHos, you just watch a movie and you have a certain expectation, and boy, Does it not live up to the expectation? And
It
then
was
it's
so,
like, wow.
you were like, how closely did you watch this? And it was so funny to me because the answer was like not close at all. And I had asked you right before, like, can I do the other one? Because I just found myself like, I even took a shower, and in the shower I was like, is my attention span like really cooked because I could not pay attention to this? But no, because I was fully locked into the second movie, so I think it's just that bad.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty bad. So this week, WoHos, we're doing comedies in quotes. So our first film is called Evil Ed. The short plot summary from IMDb says, a mild-mannered film editor is assigned to cut a series of infamous slasher films and is driven murderously insane by the miles of extremely violent footage he edits. This was directed by Anders Jacobsen, screenplay by Anders Jacobsen, Goran Lundstrom, and Krister Olsen, starring Johan Rudebeck, Per Lofberg, Olaf Roden. Cinematography by Anders Jacobsen, edited by Anders Jacobsen, music by Henriksen and Lind. And the release dates were the 11th of November, 1995 at the Stockholm International Film Festival and the 4th of April, 1997 in Sweden. It has a runtime of 93 minutes. How did you feel about this runtime, Mac?
Wow. And I'll tell you what, I did watch this on 1.5 speed, and somehow it still felt very long. So even at an hour, and there was a point where I paused and I was like, 45 minutes left. Like I was actually shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a point in this film where I'm like, oh, good, it's over. And that would have made a really nice ending. But no, we've got a whole, like, another act after that. So, all right. So, our opening scene, a man seems to have gone mad. There is film everywhere. He kills himself with a grenade. Blood splashes on his boss's face, and the man is then told he is fired.
This scene makes you go, oh no. Because I knew that was supposed to make me laugh, and I thought, this does not bode well.
No. So we're watching a black and white movie. It looks like a classic Swedish film, and a woman is leaving a man. Oh, I should mention this is dubbed also. So apparently some things may have literally been lost in the translation, but not that much, I don't think.
And it doesn't seem like it. Like when you watch it, it doesn't seem like a dubbed movie almost.
Mm-hmm. Ed, our hero, is transferred to the splatter and gore department. His job will be to cut out violent scenes. He is working at his boss, Sam Campbell's house. And he answers the phone. Hello, Barbara. It's his wife. She wants to know what he's working on. He doesn't want to tell her. She says she can take it, so he just says he cut a scene where a beaver raped a woman.
And I do love that when he says that, she's like, oh my God, like that was the one part I thought was funny. She was like, why did you tell me that?
He cuts out a scene where a man is chopping a woman's arm off, but leaves in the part where the man is covered in her blood. We meet Nick and his friends who are watching a loose limbs splatter movie. Nick is tasked with delivering films to Ed. At home, Ed hears clattering. He is slicing bread and hallucinates he is slicing an arm, and he notices the fridge door is ajar. Sam Campbell yells at Nick, and Nick and Melanie talk about how gross Sam is. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny. I don't know.
The acting was real bad.
Yeah.
I think part of the joke is this guy sexually harasses women, and like that's supposed to be funny.
Really funny. Ed asks for his old job back. And he says, he doesn't think he's up to this emotionally. It's like really messing with his mental health. And he just feels not good doing this job. And Sam Campbell basically says he doesn't care how Ed feels. He just wants results. And if Ed can't deliver them, he's fired. Ed hallucinates a monster from one of the films. Sam calls Ed. Ed is sick, but says it'll probably pass. Sam is coming out tomorrow. The next morning, Ed is looking at an old lady across the way and hallucinates a young woman stripping for him. So she's dressed in the old lady's robe, and she's this buxom young woman. And then it goes back to the old woman, and she's just like, what are you staring at me for, dude?
And I think the joke is that that would be so crazy if you were to look at like any woman above 18 and find them attractive. Like that would be like, what? I say sarcastically. I say sarcastically. Reading this stuff on paper, I'm like, this seems like a movie I should like. Like the themes I think are interesting of, I don't believe that if you watch violent, I'm not a person that's like, you play violent video games, you will shoot up a school. I don't believe that. But I do think that there's something to say about like, watching really rough porn and that skewing your view of intimacy. Like, I think that could be, or like, if you only ever view women sexually, then viewing the women in your life only sexually, that is a problem. But it's not done very well. Especially when it's a joke that this guy Ed sexually harasses his employees. It's like, well, your message is kind of lost.
Yeah.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah. Nick delivers films to Ed. In the film, a man is going to inject a woman with a luminescent solution, a la Reanimator. He stabs her with the needle and cuts off her foot. He keeps butchering her. There's blood everywhere. And then Ed has this sort of, well, I was going to say dream sequence, but it actually turns out to be a dream where there's a figure in an insane asylum who tells Ed it's not enough to correct the films because the films come from sick minds. It's the minds that have to be eliminated. This was all a dream that Ed had. Ed hears the clattering again. He goes downstairs and grabs the vacuum cleaner attachment. That was pretty funny. The fridge is closed, but it is moving. When he opens it, there's a gremlin-style monster inside. He grabs a knife and blindly stabs it inside, but the creature is not there. It scampers off. Ed is nailing boards to the door. Sam Campbell comes. The creature taunts Ed from the fridge. Sam is upset that Ed cut the beaver rape scene. Ed hallucinates Sam's eyes turning green. Sam's voice is distorted, and then I just wrote, I blanked out. I did. I don't know. I was taking notes or I just went into a fugue state. I'm not really sure. But Ed runs
He snaps his... Oh, no, sorry. Keep going. Cut that.
Yeah. Ed runs into a demon. He is in a cavern of some kind. The man from the asylum says, evil has shown itself to you. You must fight it. The demon advances on Ed, but Ed twists the demon's neck, killing him. But it was Sam. Ed laughs, takes a saw, and begins sawing. Nick comes by with another film, Loose Limbs 8. The door is open, so he goes inside. Ed asks if the film is funny. He wants films that are funny. Nick says no. He offers Nick coffee, and he says he loves the concept of pain. Ed punches Nick until Nick is unconscious. Then we see Ed just cutting up film indiscriminately, a la the guy in the beginning. So now I guess he's completely snapped. Two thugs show up at the house intent on burglarizing it. Nick gets away. Thug 1 breaks in and runs into Ed. The thug shoots with a shotgun. Ed bangs the thug's head into the wall and beats him up. The thug did get off a shot, and so Ed's face is like, it's like Yeah, it's shot is like in his face. He's wounded. Barbara calls, but Ed uses the phone to beat up the thug. She and her daughter go to see Ed. Thug number 2 goes looking. He sees thug number 1's decapitated head sitting on the floor. Ed beats up thug number 2 and tosses his decapitated head out the window. So has he decapitated both of the boys' heads?
I couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. Okay. It lands on the old lady's roof and wakes her up. She goes looking for whatever hit her roof and finds the head in a barrel of water. Barbara comes in, and Ed says, "I'm coming to get you, Barbara." She tells Emmy to hide in the basement.
Odd.
Terrible, terrible advice. He sings, "Daddy's Gonna Cut." Barbara is hiding in the closet. She shoots Ed when he opens it. He's taken away in a straitjacket. And here's where I thought, oh, good. That's a good
It's
ending
over
for the movie. Thank God. No. He is taken to the psychiatric ward and tranquilized. He wakes up and punches out all the doctors. He hallucinates the main doctor is a monster. He puts on a doctor's jacket. He electrocutes a patient and gets out of the psych ward. Why do they always show psych wards as just basically a room with people wandering around aimlessly?
I guess in a way, like maybe old ones were kind of like that, like just like containment areas for people they wanted locked up. I feel like there was some footage once of like a really bad mental hospital that maybe like inspired a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I always wondered that. Melanie shows up to visit Nick, who's in the hospital. Ed stares at them through the window. He takes Melanie away. Nick pulls out his IV to go and help her. Okay, then special forces show up. Ed drags Melanie up some steps. Nick chases them. The special forces go in search of Ed. Okay, so these are basic. So first, for one thing, the main guy has a southern accent, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And he's smoking a cigar. And yeah, the other guys are just like hut, 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 hut. You know, they're just like these automatons. He takes Melanie into a room and gasses her. He takes out surgical tools. Nick finds them and tackles Ed, but Ed throws him down the stairs. The special forces guys fire at Ed. Ed grabs a special forces guy and machine guns another one. Ed keeps killing guys. Nick goes back upstairs. At last, there's just the main special forces guy left. He and Ed have a showdown, and it's like an old-fashioned Western showdown. Nick looks on. Both men fire and are hit, but the special forces guy dies. Ed goes back to Melanie. Nick takes the special forces man's rifle. Nick gets there right after Ed has impaled Melanie. She turns into a creature. Nick blows off Ed's head, and Nick monologues about love ruling the world one day.
I think here's my take, is that for some reason, I don't care about any of these characters. And so I don't feel anything when anything happens to them. And then it's also not, despite there being like, you know, practical effects and cool makeup, I'm not visually like intrigued either. So there's a, like, looking at the plot, you're like, wow, a lot of stuff happened, but it kind of, it's almost too crazy. Like, it's too crazy, and there's nothing really keeping me grounded, you know? Like, I'm thinking of that Phantom of the, what was the, not the Phantom of the
Paradise?
Yeah, it's like, that one's very crazy, but I felt very connected to some of the characters where I could follow a through line. But this one, I don't care about Ed. I really don't care about Nick and Melanie. Sam, in a way, is the most interesting character, but he's so unlikable that you're happy when he's dead. So, you know, I think some of this stuff you can see, like, in a way, I'm looking at this again. I'm like, okay, the special forces scene kind of reminds me of that crazy shootout in like American Psycho. But American Psycho is such a captivating film with such a captivating character that you almost can't even make a comparison to the two. Because
Right.
with that one being so like, oh, this guy's insane. Is this really happening? It's engaging. But this, you're just like, let it be over.
I I heard that there were all these references to other movies in this film, and of course, Night of the Living Dead and
Evil
um,
Dead.
Evil Dead and Reanimator, and I guess generic Swedish films and westerns. And there's one time where he goes, "Now it's dark," and I looked it up, and that's from Blue Velvet, and I'm like, why are you
Whoa.
quoting Blue Velvet? Like, I wouldn't really say that's a horror film.
Yeah.
Maybe some people would, but I don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, the splatter films themselves are pretty hilarious because they're so over the top. It's just
Yeah.
basically like buckets of blood. So that's pretty funny. And the fact that he doesn't cut like the whole scene out to me was pretty funny. He just left this like, it makes no sense. It's like these people are
Yeah.
talking, and then all of a sudden this guy's like bathing in this woman's blood. So that was pretty funny. But once he turns into Evil Ed, after that, it's, you know, I'm not in it at all.
Yeah. Agreed. The tension's gone. It's like, that's the big thing that we're waiting to happen. And then it happens so early in a way that everything after it is just silly.
Yeah. Well, here's some trivia. As funds were running out, the producers came up with a scam to get 16 millimeter film. They would call various distributors of 16 millimeter stock and ask for test samples. The companies would send them sample reels for free, which they would use for shooting this film.
That's funny.
Sweden had until 1996 a policy about censoring any movies that had any sex or violence scenes. Evil Ed was actually made as a protest against that policy.
Wow.
Screenwriter Krister Olson's friend worked as an editor, censoring out violence from American slasher films for the European market. This served as an inspiration for the plot of this film. This is Olson's first and only screenwriting credit. Nick was originally going to die in the film. When Edward beats him up, he then uses a vacuum to suck out Nick's brain. This all got changed when the hospital climax was written into the film.
Whose idea was that? Because that would have been a great ending.
Mr. Olson, what were you thinking? Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Millie One Kenobi gave it half star. Where's the problem? This movie. This movie is the problem. Cassandra gave it a half star. Only one half because I had a really nice nap in the theater. Patrick Halloran gave it 1 star. How was this made in the 90s? This movie sucks. Fuck Ed. Akachow gave it 5 stars. This is exactly what my mom thinks will happen to me if I keep watching horror movies.
It will.
Guaranteed. Mario Waller gave it 5 stars, very reminiscent of Peter Jackson's old work, so of course I absolutely love this. I can kind of see that, and that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
But just in the splatter stuff, like,
yeah,
it does go batshit with like the critter in the fridge and all this stuff. I don't know.
It's too much, and none of it ties together.
Yeah. Kona gave it 5 stars. Fucking hilarious, silly ass movie. Well, how would we rate it?
Film cuts?
Sure.
If I was to give a Letterboxd review, it would say 2 film cuts. I'm going to tell my kids this was censor.
Yeah, I think I would also give it, okay, the practical effects and the makeup, let it be a 3-star film.
Okay. I
Yeah,
respect that.
but I will never watch it again, and I would not recommend it to anybody.
Same.
What have we learned?
Just quit your job, I guess, if you're gonna like kill everybody.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, if your job gives you a stomach ache, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Your body's trying to tell you something. Also, is that little girl still in the basement?
Well, I suppose, the wife took her out when
Yeah,
yeah.
I was a little worried about that. Would we watch it again?
No.
No. And did you have a favorite scene or kill?
The credits. Let me be
Did you watch it on
nice.
Tubi?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Favorite scene. Um, I guess that little freak in the fridge. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, he was pretty cute. I liked the Reanimator ripoff scene where he
Mm.
like stabs the woman with the syringe and she goes, "Ow!" And then and then she's like, "What are you doing?" And then she goes, "Oh, my foot." Like her acting is just so bad. I thought it was pretty funny.
Or like the lady stripping in the alley, and he's like, you look great, but I want your arm." And she's like, "What?"
Yeah, like the little interstitial movie parts I kind of enjoyed.
Yeah.
Who wins the You Fool Award?
Sam or
Sam.
Ed?
Ed. I was thinking Ed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just quit.
Just quit. You'll be better off.
Yeah.
So that was Evil Ed.
It's over.
Oh boy.
All right. Our second movie, which was a lot better and actually made me laugh out loud multiple times. So this was a good choice, Mom.
Thanks.
Our next film is Heart Eyes. Here's the short plot summary from IMDb. When two coworkers have to survive the Heart Eyes killer on Valentine's Day, the two have to find out who it is. That's a crazy synopsis. Like, yeah, I guess. I would say something a little bit more punchy, like with a killer on the loose with a penchant for murdering couples. Two coworkers who just met, have to survive the night. I don't know. That would be better already than the two have to find out who it is. Like, yeah, okay. It was directed by Josh Rubin, written by Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy. It stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Gigi Zimbardo, Michaela Watkins, Devon Sawa, and Jordana Brewster, with cinematography by Stephen Murphy, edited by Brett W. Bachman, and music by Jay Wadley. It was released February 7th, 2025, with a runtime of 97 minutes. I thought that, in a way, this movie is kind of the opposite in somewhat to the last movie, because I do think the plot gets a little bit bloated, but by that point I'm actually invested in the characters, so I really didn't care. Like, I had the thought, this is going on a little bit long, but I really liked the characters and the performances, so I forgave it. Interesting though that this is seems to be a mostly male involved production. I just side eye that sometimes, especially when it comes to like a movie where you're kind of criticizing or like making fun of like the romance genre. something gives me an icky feeling knowing that like it was mostly men behind. I'm like, this is no offense. Like, I know men can be into romance too. And I liked the movie. It's just, guys, have at least like one woman on the, writing staff or something, right?
Yeah.
But I digress. Our scene opens at a winery. And I should say the vibe of this movie is just very silly the whole way through, which I like. There's a man proposing, but we get a little bit of music in the background, and this is a total like Pinteresty looking couple. Like the woman is like kind of like mouthing his proposal. He gives her the ring and like a strawberry or something, and she's like, "I told you not to put it in food." And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." So it's like this is very manufactured love, kind of. But then he gets a call from the photographer. He didn't get the shot, and so and the guy's like, "I will fucking end you on Yelp." The photographer's like, "I'm not even on Yelp, but okay." But as they're setting up for the second shot, the photographer is speared by an arrow in the forehead. We see our killer, Heart Eyes, who's like a Jason-esque figure, but he's got like a leathery mask on with electric neon-y like heart eyes and like a big smile. They call up the photographer again and they don't get a response. The guy proposing gets an arrow, dies. The woman starts running, but she gets caught in the leg with an arrow, and she runs and hides in this machine, which we can all tell is going to be a bad idea. And I did like this though. This did give me a little bit of a chill because, Hard Eyes turns on the machine, and it's a grape smushing machine. Cause I was like, what is this? But it is like this press, and it is scary as she like sees what's going to happen. And we just see her kind of like back up. And then we see her face in the window as like it comes on her head, and like you see her eye pop out for just a second before it like smushes. And then there's like blood coming out of I don't know, like these grates in the machine and out of this faucet. Is very Final Destination. I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we get some background in this world about Heart Eyes. For the past 2 years, Heart Eyes has, been killing people across the nation in major cities. We hear from the newscasters, and we see like this whole thing, like he was in Boston and in Philly, and now our story takes place in Seattle. And, wait, I didn't hear this. A voice says, "I think he only kills straight people." That's really funny.
It's just like 180 our voice, like as our heroes are about to meet in the coffee shop. I just thought that was really great.
We see, our main character is played by Olivia Holt Alley. She's, a late 20s blonde woman. I looked up the ages of the main characters, and okay, like I swear I'm not trying to sound like the most oppressed minority as a 30-year-old. I know that there's like way other age ranges we should see in movies, but can I just say I really liked the age range of the leads in this, where at the time, like Olivia Holt born in 97, Mason Gooding born in 96. I was kind of like, my people. I do feel like they could have cast like 20-year-olds, but still put them in these exec type roles, and it wouldn't have made sense. But I thought this was the perfect age range, for these characters. So I thought that was nice.
They also could have aged them up 10 years too, but
it's true.
But yeah, no, I can understand that. I would love to see some people in their late 50s in a rom-com horror film. That would be amazing.
Like, it feels a little bit real, like, and that they seem to be like in an in-between part of their lives, and that's very, very relatable. So I liked that. And obviously they're both really attractive people, but I felt like they didn't look like Instagram like models, if that makes sense. And I did find this dialogue just a little bit insufferable in the beginning. It actually reminds me so much of a scene from Scream Queens, a Ryan Murphy production, that is so hard. And actually Allie is dressed very similarly to this character in Scream Queens, where she's like, just sometimes coffee barista scenes are like agonizing to watch a little bit, where Oh, so these two, like Allie, she's talking with her bestie at this Seattle coffee shop, and she's worried about what we know something bad is going to happen to her at work at this all staff meeting. And, when she goes to pick up her order, which is a very specific order, another guy picks it up and he's like, actually, I think this is mine. Turns out they both ordered the same thing. And they're both kind of like, wow, like nobody has this order. But then the barista's like, actually, it's a very common order. Can you guys move? So I thought that was funny. And, so they both go to the little like sugar station and he offers her a straw. And she's like, no, actually, I've got this metal one, foreshadowing. And, they make a cute little joke like, oh, yeah, plastic cups, but paper straws. Like, that's going to save the world. And, he drops something. She goes to pick it up. They hit each other in the head. And then it happens again. But this time he's bleeding. But she's like, I actually just really have to go. And so she leaves. But he's a very handsome guy. And this is a really rom-com-y setup. So with the discovery of the two bodies from before at the winery, we have learned that the heart ice killer has come to Seattle. Well, it turns out Allie and her bestie, what's her name? Is her name
the
Melanie?
best friend?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It starts with an M. But her and the bestie, they both work
Monica?
at this Monica. Yeah. Monica. I think it's Monica. They both work at this advertising company. And Allie is in big trouble. We see this campaign that she apparently was head of. And I thought this was funny too. I don't know what they sell. Is it perfume or something? But
I think so,
it's like, yeah, it's all these, it feels like a perfume ad, but it's so over the top. Like there's all these famous death romance scenes like, Titanic and like Romeo and Juliet. But like, every time they bleed, it's like these red scarves come out of them and it's all in black and white. And so obviously the world sees this in very poor taste. And it's like you even see everybody at the table just kind of like, oh, like we've got this famous serial killer killing couples on Valentine's Day 2 years in a row. And now your ad is all about couples dying. And so Crystal, Allie's boss, is just kind of like haranguing her in front of everybody. And Allie's like, well, you approved it. She's like, that's because I thought I could trust you. And so they call in Jay. He has flown in and he's here for 1 day to help with the advertising campaign. And guess what? It's the guy from the coffee shop. So then we meet Hobbs and Shaw, the cops. It's so funny. That part did make me laugh later. They're kind of like a buddy cop, like male and female cops who are at the scene of the deaths at the winery. And listen, I'm not trying to say that this was like fully a crazy thing to notice beforehand. They do drop the breadcrumbs, but I just was like, one of them had something to do with it. I bet you.
Oh, yeah?
Because they just were focused so much on them. I was like, something's going to be up with these two. And that's Jordana Brewster. Is she Hobbs? No, Shaw. So they're kind of like bickering. Shaw's on the dating apps. Hobbs is kind of like making fun of her and saying like she needs a real man, and kind of like steps to her like maybe he could be that real man, which is weird. And so they realize that they must be dealing with the heart ice killer because the last thing the photographer saw was the heart ice mask. And we see that there is a ring at the scene of the crime with the initials JS. Well, and again, I'm thinking, okay, red herring. Jay Simmons is Jay's full name, the cutie that Allie meets. But I like, I'm saying this, I like all this setup. I think sometimes a mystery where breadcrumbs are put, I like that better than when it's like, what? Like, we never met this character or something. So I'm enjoying the whole thing so far. So Jay invites Allie to dinner. It's going to be at this nice restaurant. Like there's this moment where like she's talking to Monica in the bathroom. They're both looking online and there's all this stuff like whoever's in charge needs to be murdered and canceled and not in that order. And he comes in and he's like, hey, like, Allie, can I talk to you? And they're like, this is the women's restroom. And he's like, well, it's actually a unisex restroom. which I don't know. I thought that was funny. And so he invites her out to dinner. She's kind of weirded out, but he is really hot. And Monica, who apparently is a sugar baby, is telling her, like, you need to get out there and see this guy. Allie is also obsessed with her ex-boyfriend, who's very publicly dating somebody else. Apparently, Allie broke up with him, but she's still hung up on this guy because he got together with somebody else so fast. So Monica's like, well, you need to get dressed up. Like, it's just your classic rom-com. Like, girl, you can't see him like that. So they have a cute little scene at the store with the sugar daddy's credit card. So they meet at dinner. When Allie arrives, like, she brings the fucking metal straw and she puts that in her drink. And they have to use like a metal detector on her. So it's the metal straw. And she's really adamant to everybody. Like, the waiter comes by and he's like, will your date be joining you? And she's like, well, actually we're coworkers. Like, no, it's not a date. And she's dressed pretty, I feel like she's dressed like smart casual. Like, she's not, but she does look dressed up. And then we see Jay walk in and there's like this music playing. So she obviously finds him very attractive because he's very handsome and he's very smooth. Like, he kind of reminds me of like a Bridgerton character or something. Like, he's just really like, I was like, is this guy related to Cuba Gooding Jr.? I felt good for figuring that out. That's his son. So yeah, Jay and Allie are talking, and it's supposed to be a work dinner, but Jay is clearly interested in her. And, we really find out that, Allie is not into romance at all. She gives this whole little speech about how she thinks it's fake and, it can't be real. And, Jay's kind of trying to pick her brain because he's like, wow, like, your campaign, it all had to do with like death. And she's like, well, death is like, all the best romances have death in it and blah, blah, blah. So it's really not, it's kind of awkward. So he leaves and she follows him. She's like, wait, Jay. And she suddenly kisses him. And we're like, whoa, what could it be? Well, it's because her ex and his new girlfriend are right there. And so there's this cute little scene, where Jay's going along with it to be nice. And we also find out that the ex, he's like, well, actually, this was supposed to be a double date, but the other couple kind of, and they're like, what? They're like, oh, at the winery. Like, so tragic. And they're like, Jay and Allie both like, so you kept the reservation? And like, well, in honor of them, we had to go. So I think this movie's pretty funny. That made me laugh. And we can see that Hard Eyes has seen them kiss. Like, we see the outline of the heart. And so Jay and her both get into a cab to kind of put on the airs that they are dating in front of this ex. And, but it's still kind of awkward in the cab. Like, Allie's like, well, thanks for doing that for me. And he's like, yeah, I know you wanted to seem less pathetic in front of him. So he's got a little bit of sass to him. And the cab driver's being kind of weird. He's like, what do you two lovebirds want to listen to? And they're like, no, we're just we're just coworkers. So they get back to Allie's apartment. Jay's a gentleman. He can see that she's locked herself out. So he tells the cab to keep it running. He is the gentleman. So he's like, I will punch through the glass of your apartment so you can get through. So he does that, but it does injure his hand. Allie takes care of him, but we find out she actually, before advertising, was studying to become, to go into medicine. I forget what type of, it was, because she says something, he thinks it's liver, but it's something else. I don't remember what organ.
Nephrology.
Nephrology.
And it's kidneys, I think.
Oh, okay. So, and she is kind of vague. She's like, well, there's a family member that I had that had issues and I felt like I could save everyone. But it turns out I'm really bad with blood. And, she takes care of him and it's very sweet. And so she opens up her closet then and Heart Eyes is in there and then they both freak out and start running. It's a cool little fight scene and they really do hold their own. And they go to the cabbie, but the cabbie's immediately killed. And it's so funny because while they're running, she's like, we're not dating, to the Hard Eyes. She's like, leave us alone. But but he doesn't. So They go to this like botanical garden that even has this sign that says closed for renovation. So, nobody's going to be there. And, you know, Heart Ice corners Jay. We don't really see what happens to him, and Allie dips. He chases her to this abandoned carnival. He's on the swings when Allie looks.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Heart
like
Ice
he's
is just like swinging on the swings.
with like this misty fog in the background. And then she like turns to look, and now he's gone, and he's turned the carnival, like the merry-go-ride on. He makes it really fast somehow. They have a cool little chase scene on the merry-go-round. She kicks him off. Jay's attacked. Again, yeah, Allie runs away. They have a little chase scene, but then the cops show up. And the cops put Jay in the back of their car because they think he is the Heart Ice killer, even though Allie tries to plead, like, no, there's no way. Like, he was chasing both of us. But I do like this because I, again, had already been like, I bet there's more than one. Like, there has to be more than one. That's always the thing in these with a masked killer. Like, there's got to be more than one. Classic Scream setup. So I was like, could Jay be like what? Because I don't know what this is. Maybe Mason Gooding just has this, but I noticed that he has like a scar on his neck. And it looked like fake because it was like it was a line with like lined stitches. So I thought that was like and maybe that was just another red herring, but I was like, perhaps he is one of two Heart Ice killers. We don't know. So they take him away. And the cops are immediately like celebrating. Like they're like, we caught the Heart Ice killer. And so they all go out for like the cops en masse just leave to go party. So Allie follows them to the station. The only people there are Hobbs and Shaw. Oh, there's a cute little scene where Hobbs and Shaw talk to her, and she's like, Hobbs and Shaw, like the movie? And they're both just like, we haven't seen it. So I thought that was cute. So the only people there are Hobbs, Shaw, officer at the desk, and this IT guy who's very suspicious too. Like, this guy's going to come up later because, he's like, hey, do I know you, to Allie? And she's like, no. He's like, oh, are you on Bumble? And she's like, no, I'm not on the apps. And he's just like, oh, could I ask you out maybe? And she's like, well, I almost like got murdered today. So, and he's like, understood. Have a nice day. So I'm like, okay, that guy's somebody. So they're interrogating. Oh yeah, because the IT guy says that there's no cops there because they caught the Heart Ice killer. It's all according to the Heart Ice killer plan, I think. So the lights go out. Allie doesn't have a weapon, so she grabs this flagpole and almost kills this officer. And they're interrogating Jay. Like they're bringing up like, hey, we found your ring there. Like this is Hobbs. He's like, well, we found your ring there. What do you say about that? And he's like, well, no, one, I'm not married. 2, why would I leave my ring at the scene of the crime? 3, why would I have my own initials inscribed into the ring? And 4, I'm being sarcastic or something like that. And so Hobbs is kind of like, okay, tough guy. And he leaves. So now Shaw, Jordana Brewster, is the only one there with him. And this is where I really start to get suspicious of her because she's just being weird. Like, it's just the way the camera's on her. I was just like, so she's got something to do. It would make sense if a cop is complicit in the serial killer. Like, she's showing him like her boobs or something. I really don't know what that was about. And maybe they're trying to make us think he's into her. I don't know. But, she tells Jay like, well, you were in Boston and Philly, like during this time. Like, what do you have to say about that? And he's like, I'm a freelancer. Like, I travel a lot. So then the lights go out. Allie doesn't have a weapon. She grabs this flagpole. There's a very tense scene where she's going up to this like supply closet. And then the cop from before catches her because she tells the cop, she asked the cop to go back to check on Jay. The cop then tells Shaw, we got HWW in the lobby. And they're like, what? Hysterical white woman. And so she almost stabs the officer, and then she's just like, oh, I just like love America. um the lights go out, so it's really tense, and it's so funny because the officer immediately goes to the supply closet to get like a flashlight, and she's like, don't go in there, he hides in there. And she's like, what, I just have this like flashlight. But then the officer does get killed by the flagpole. Hobbs is killed. His nuts, I mean, this is just awful. Like, Hard Eyes gets him with a machete right in the crotch. That ain't right. So he dies. Hard Eyes is then in Jay's room. He's still chained to the desk. And he, like, at first Allie calls through and she's like, Jay, like, are you okay? And he's like, yes, get the keys. So I was like, oh, she left to go get the keys. But Jay is like, oh, she left me again. Okay, great. Then Heart Eyes comes in, chases him around the desk. But Allie shoots through the two-way mirror, though she shoots like she just cannot get Heart Eyes despite having a good shot. Heart Eyes runs away. She gets Jay free, and Jay's like, you're a really bad shot. She's like, okay, well, I just saved your life. So they run away to a drive-in movie, but they both realize with horror that they've led Heart Eyes to a buffet of all you can kill. And there's a really sweet scene because Heart Eyes does begin to rampage. And I love scenes like this in a horror movie where there's somebody there that is so dangerous, but nobody realizes it yet because people are kind of weirded out by him, but they're like, sick costume, dude, or like, that guy's creepy, but nobody knows the danger that they're in. So he does begin to slice his way through the crowd. And it is funny. He does very slowly menace like a lesbian couple. Like, it's like he takes his time with them. Jay and Allie hide in a van. There's this hippie couple fucking in the back. And I really do like this scene. I feel like, again, this movie did make me care about these guys. Like, they're both hiding. It's really tense, but Allie tells Jay, like, I lied before. My parents had a really fairy tale romance, but then my dad died. So I did run away earlier. It's like, all I do is I run away. And then Jay says where he comes from is that his parents fought all the time. And so that's why he's a hapless romantic. And I did think it was interesting because apparently Mason Gooding's parents are divorced. So I was like, maybe this acting is coming from the heart. I thought he was pretty good. Like, I liked the acting in this. So then, they're both kind of like enjoying each other's company. And Allie's like, this should be the worst day of my life, but it isn't. And Jay's like, me too. And then they laugh because they hear the couple having sex and they're like, okay, they're actually being kind of loud. And when they turn, Heart Eyes opens up the doors and he stabs the guy. Like, there's a woman riding a guy. He stabs the guy through like the mouth with this like sword thing. And then he pulls the woman's head down onto the sword. So then we see through the hole in her mouth, like Jay and Allie looking back. I thought that was cool. So they run away. But then they are, like Jay's kind of like, let's go. But she's like, no, like he's going to keep chasing us. And then more people are going to die. Let's go back. So they stop him from menacing the lesbian couple that never gets killed. And they fight the Heart Eyes killer and they both take him down. There is a moment where Jay like slices him through the stomach and blood splatters onto Allie. And it's funny because when the Heart Eyes killer falls down, she's like, Jay, like you got it in my mouth. And he's like, okay, like I saved your life. And then she projectile vomits all over Heart Eyes. And they open up his mask and they're like, who the fuck is that? It was a guy we've never seen before. So it's not over because there's also like 30 minutes left in the movie. So Jay asks Allie if she wants to come back to his hotel room and knock out, the end of this, which, okay. It's a movie. Like, I respect that. I was like, no way they're just going home. Like, her apartment's a damn crime scene. Though I guess the cop force is like non-existent right now. Like, but I was kind of like, this is kind of crazy. The idea that they can just leave. um,
Mm.
but Jay asks her, will she come with him? And she's like, I can't. So Shaw is going to take Jay home and is like, your chariot awaits. And Allie's like, well, go to your chariot. And Jay's like, she's not my type, and looks at Allie. Well, Allie is watching the movie from the drive-in at her apartment, and her friend encourages her to go meet Jay at the airport. And when she says this speech, she drops all these names of like rom-coms, like,
Yeah.
it's just like one after the other.
Crazy
It's
Stupid
pretty.
Love and
Love
Love Actually.
Actually. And of course, she's like, go to the airport. I did think it would have been funny if they had some sort of joke about like TSA being like, you can't come in here. Like, you
Yeah.
can't do like a romance at the airport anymore. But she gets a call before she can even enter. It's from the Heart Ice Killer, who tells her to come to the St. Valentine's Chapel or Jay will die. And she must come alone and she can't call anybody. So she goes, and first, Heart Ice Killer reveals himself to be David, the IT guy. And so she's like, oh, so you and Eli were dating? And he's like, no, we were a throuple. And then, of course, Shaw comes out from the back. And then they're like, well, actually, he was just like our fanboy. And then they kind of explain who did what throughout the movie, and that, they chose Allie and Jay because they were actually going to do her ex. But when they saw them kiss, they were like, come on. And they give the story about St. Valentine, like beheading. Yeah, they liked it because they're like just freaks. Like, they say killing is their kink. They're like, everybody has a fetish. And yeah, they show just some behind the scenes of them being weird as they kill people. So they give Allie a gun surrounded by roses with one bullet. They say it's either for her or Jay. If she doesn't love him, she should kill him, or, kill herself. I mean, it's like, obviously, if she kills herself, they're just going to kill Jay. But she monologues, about love and meeting Jay and, these two being psychos. And then she says, forgive me. And of course, shoots at Jay and hits Shaw in the stomach. So then we have a whole free-for-all fight. Jay is fighting David, Allie fighting Shaw. Jay attacks David with this is a nasty thing, like arrow in the face. It like goes through like his eye and his nose and his mouth. Oh, it's so bad. And then he falls. They have all these candles and like all this hot wax pours over him. So then Allie and Shaw are fighting. She, gets Shaw with the metal straw in her neck and then rams her into the sword of the St. Valentine statue. And I do like this scene. It's like she's struggling so much against the sword that her head actually gets decapitated and it's just sitting there on the sword. And then, she goes over to Jay and helps him out. But then David's alive, like he's crawling towards them, but they get him with an arrow. So now it's 1 year later. Allie's going back to med school. They're back at the drive-in theater. Jay proposes that she move in with him, but she actually proposes marriage. And then she gets a call in the middle of the credits from the supposed Heart Ice Killer, but it's actually Monica who's been videotaping it. And she's like, too soon. Because like she uses like a voice changer. And then the movie ends. Cute.
Very cute.
Very
Fun.
cute. I laughed out loud a lot, honestly.
Breezy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Goes down easy.
It does. It's smooth. It was a nice refresher from whatever that was before it.
I was gonna say watch Evil Ed first, but I'm like, he can live his life, he can do what he wants, but that's the way I did it.
Yeah, I think it would have been tough to get through Evil Ed after this.
Yeah.
Well, here's some trivia. The mask designer for Heart Eyes, special effects Tony Gardner, also created the killer masks for Freaky, Happy Death Day, and Totally Killer. I think I've only seen Happy Death Day out of those three.
I've seen them all.
Are they good?
Yeah, Freaky. I didn't really like Freaky. It's that body switch movie with Vince Vaughn.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Totally Killer is she's got to go back and like kill the killer who killed a bunch of people in the 80s. So she's got to go back in time. It's kind of fun.
Okay. That sounds cute.
Yeah.
The character Monica was not part of the original script. She was added as a result of a polish by uncredited screenwriter Jen D'Angelo,
Oh, there
who
you
was
go.
brought
There's your
in.
woman.
Okay, who was brought in to provide a female perspective. She had previously written Totally Killer 2023, a horror comedy also starring Olivia Holt. Okay. Well, I'm glad that they had one woman on the writing staff.
Uncredited, but you know.
Yeah, uncredited. Wow, great. Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Jesse gave it 5 stars. It's absolutely beautiful on every rewatch. Rom-com slasher is the perfect way to describe it. The kills are Italian hand gesture. I can't wait for the sequel. Lexi Ann gave it 5 stars. I don't know why, but this is becoming one of my comfort movies, lol. I can see it. Lynn App 2355 gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was beautifully shot. I could see when it was dark. I didn't expect a romantic horror comedy to be such a nice time. I agree. I feel like it hit both notes and the comedy. Like it hit all 3 notes very well. Leon gave it a half star. Just the type of slop to watch at your grand's house on a Wednesday evening. Well, we know what Leon was up to on Wednesday. Malleus D. Wife gave it a half star. My sister ruined the ending before it even started.
Oh.
Dang. I mean,
Don't do that.
I don't think the ending is really like, what? There's more than one shot? Like, I don't know. I was kind of like, okay, you know, but I still liked it. Sloan gave it a half star, and then it was rewatched by Ada. How does this work?
I don't know. Maybe that was an editing gaffe by me.
Sloan and or Ada gave it a half star. Literally, no. That's the Valley Girl ass review.
I just want to say that all the time now. Literally, no.
Literally, no. Well, how would we rate it? How about decapitated heads?
Okay.
4.
Yeah. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I think I'd give it 4. That's fair.
It's like not groundbreaking, but I think it does look nice. The kills, I don't think there's too much CGI or anything, and it's cute.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
It's fun. What have we learned? Don't trust the cops in Seattle.
Yeah. ACAB for sure.
Yeah, ACAB. That's what we have learned. I mean, truly, there's no positive cop depicted in this. Like, they're kind of all assholes. Would we watch it again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite scene and or kill?
I kind of like the one just at her house when, it's been this whole rom-com setup and he breaks in and then they go upstairs and then the heart ice killer is in her closet and they're both just like, run. I just thought that was really pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And I liked, I really like the van scene. I think that was really where I was like, wow, I'm invested now. Like, I don't watch a lot of rom-coms or I don't read like romance novels. I've got no judgment towards them. I used to read a lot of romantic fan fiction in high school. So I basically have read unpublished romance novels with my favorite characters in them. So I like the genre. I feel like some will disagree with me on this. Well, I'm not saying this objectively, but I just did prefer the genre when I was not in a relationship. And I know some people are in relationships and still enjoy them. I actually still wish I could enjoy them But maybe that means I was kind of putting myself in the shoes at some points reading romance stuff. But anyways, all that to say, I like the genre. I think it is very feel good and cute. How do you feel about romance?
I generally like it. I mean, there was one, what was it called last year that I watched a couple of times? It's the one where they have dinner at this, like, in this high-rise restaurant, and then somebody is like sending her alerts onto to her phone and like telling her to do certain things, and basically he's telling her she's got to kill her date, or her kid's gonna die. And so but I really enjoyed that one. I can't remember the name of it, but it has Megan Faye in it, and I like her a lot. So yeah, I like rom-coms. I don't see a whole lot of them, but in general, I think they're very fun.
Yeah.
And I like it when they have a sense of humor. I mean, I don't like straight like melodramas. I just like rom-coms.
Yeah, they feel fuzzy and warm. Like there's so many movies where they just force a male and female lead together and they feel so soulless. And so I can really appreciate, I do feel like when you've made me genuinely want to see two people together, that speaks to good writing. And I think the formula of like, they don't really like each other at first, that's just like a surefire way to get me to like the couple. I think if they're just like heart eyes the whole time, that is like boring. But to be kind of like, oh, they begrudgingly start to like form, that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Who wins the You Fool Award? Hobbs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's just a hothead.
Yeah. And then he lost his junk for it. He got the worst death. I mean, everybody who died got a bad death, but that is pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. I was going to also say Shaw. I think she's. I mean, just don't be a serial killer,
right? Like,
I mean, just don't do it.
Play games, write a book. Like, come on.
There's so many things to do with your life besides that.
Yeah. And don't give your victim a loaded gun. That's just stupid.
Yeah. What were you thinking? What did you think was going to happen?
Of course she was going to shoot you. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Shaw's one of the fools in this film. Well, thank you, Mac, for having this conversation with me about Evil Ed and Heart Eyes. And thank you, WoHos, for joining us and for all your support. It means the world of horror to us truly. We appreciate you downloading the show and telling all your friends all about us. Next time, what will we be looking at, Mac? We've got folk horror, psychological, or horror thrillers.
Folk horror.
Okay, so that means we'll be watching November from Estonia. We've never covered a movie from Estonia before.
Wow.
And Pumpkinhead.
Yay.
Remember, WoHos, we love you, and don't go into the basement.
Yippee.